Welcome to the Job Hunt Insider, where top talent acquisition professionals reveal what really matters in hiring. Get the inside scoop to land your next job.
Hi everyone, Rick here. This episode is a little different. Today we'll be focusing on resumes. It's coming from a hiring manager's perspective. If you're looking for your next job role, you've probably felt the sting of a silent inbox after sending out dozens of applications. Today I'm pulling back the curtain on a simple, repeatable system that lets recruiters and hiring managers spot exactly why you're a fit for the position you're applying for. And in the first few seconds of scanning your resume, I'll share the core ideas, a couple of real-world stories, and a taste of the deeper dive that lives inside my new book, The Job Hunt Insider. So stay tuned because the best part is coming up at the end. Let's start with what recruiters and hiring managers are faced with. First, there is time pressure. Studies and my own experience as a hiring manager show that recruiters spend about 7 seconds on an initial skim of your resume. Second, there is keyword matching. Most companies run an applicant tracking system, or ATS, that filters out roughly 75% of submissions before a human even looks at them. Third, there is a decision bottleneck. If a resume doesn't instantly demonstrate a match to the required qualifications, is typically tossed aside. There are simply too many resumes to review for most job postings. So how do we beat these odds? Let me tell you about a method that has helped many people since I've been teaching it for more than a decade. This approach doesn't just help you stand out as a candidate, it actually makes life easier for recruiters and hiring managers by clearly showing them at a glance how you meet the requirements. The story starts when I was a program manager and a hiring manager for a major defense contractor. The contract proposals I was trying to win required qualification summaries rather than candidate resumes. While drafting qualification sheets for contract proposals, I realized the only thing that mattered was a clear mapping of requirements to qualifications. I had to review resumes and extract relevant information to insert into qualification summary tables. That took a lot of time I really didn't have, and it was a lot of work. So I began asking candidates to fill out a simple 2-column sheet. The result? Faster reviews and hiring, and a light bulb moment. What if candidates sent me their resumes with this information already in place? The qualification summary resume was born. I've seen this work for entry-level candidates, career changers, and senior professionals across industries ranging from retail and healthcare to engineering, government, and corporate roles. The qualification summary essentially answers the job posting requirements, and it is placed right at the top of the resume, letting a recruiter or hiring manager see how you match the position requirements without their having to hunt through pages of your job history. Here's the simple step-by-step blueprint you can start using today. First, analyze the job posting. Highlight the required skills, mandatory qualifications, and any desired items. Keep a running list. This becomes the backbone of your summary. Next, craft a targeted summary paragraph. That sits immediately under your name and contact information at the top of your resume. Aim for 3 to 5 sentences. Mention the exact job title you're applying for. Mirror the top 3 priority requirements. And sprinkle in quantifiable achievements that align with your job requirements. For example, you might say, seasoned project manager with 8 years leading cross-functional teams, proven at delivering initiatives exceeding $2 million on time and under budget. Then add a qualification table. Create a simple 2-column list. The left side copies each requirement from the posting. The right side gives a concise statement of how you meet the requirement. Keep your response brief, only 1 or 2 sentences per requirement, using the same language the employer used. This table acts as a quick scan sheet for both the ATS and humans. After the table, add a relevant qualifications bullet block. This lists extra skills, certifications, languages, or tools that reinforce the match. This is another prime spot for keyword injection. Now move to the standard work experience section. This will be pretty much the same as your current resume. Keep the usual reverse chronological format, but lead each bullet with a strong action verb and quantify the impact. For example, reduced processing time by 40%. Finally, format to ensure the ATS reads your resume correctly. Use plain fonts such as Arial, Calibri, or Times New Roman, and 10 to 12 point size with 1-inch margins. Save it as a PDF and avoid graphics or tables used for the layout. The qualification table is the exception. Name the file clearly. For example, use your first name, last name, position, and then the year, month, and date, followed by .pdf. This will help recruiters and hiring managers stay organized when they receive it, but it will also help you to stay organized when you have many job applications to keep track of. I have 2 stories to share about people who used this resume method to get job interviews. I taught a job transition group at my local church. There was a guy who was attending for a while, and one evening I talked about the qualification summary resume. After the class, he came up and asked a lot of questions about it. He was very interested and said he was going to use it to apply for a job. The next week, he came up to me and told me that he had applied for a Home Depot back office position using the qualification summary resume approach. After he submitted his job application, he received a callback within 1 hour. Another time, I was teaching a job transition class at a local library. One of the students was a nurse transitioning from the military. She wanted to get a job at a local hospital. That evening, I was teaching about the qualification summary resume. She came up after class and told me she was going to use this technique in applying for her job. The next week, I had a follow-on class with more job hunting information. She came up to me and told me that she was called back for an interview scheduled for the next day. It just so happened that I was teaching interviewing that evening, and she told me she was going to use the techniques that I taught that night in her interview as well. She connected with me on LinkedIn shortly thereafter and told me she was hired for the position. The following year, she contacted me again. She used the qualification summary resume approach again to get a promotion within the same hospital. What's important to note is that these weren't niche roles or special circumstances. The same structure worked in very different environments. There have been many great success stories over the years with people using the techniques that I teach. I hope the same principles will help you as well. All right, now that you have the skeleton, let's sprinkle in the details that turn a good resume into a great one. You need to answer the so what question. What I mean is, if someone reads an entry such as worked as a food handler, they will say to themselves, so what? You need to answer that question up front. Strong verbs make a huge difference. Swap weak phrases like responsible for with powerful verbs such as led, engineered, spearheaded, accelerated, optimized, and so on. Try using the STAR formula. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. This keeps each bullet tight and impactful. Here are some examples. Accelerated sales growth by 35% in Q2 through targeted campaigns. Or implemented a security protocol that reduced system vulnerabilities by 60%. Another secret weapon is the master resume. This is a comprehensive document that houses every role, skill, certification, and achievement you've ever earned. This will not be a resume that you send out to potential employers. Use it as a reference when tailoring the qualification summary for each new posting. It guarantees you will never forget your hidden gems, like a one-off project that saved the company $50,000. You also need to watch out to avoid common pitfalls. Don't send a one-size-fits-all resume. Instead, tailor the qualification table for each posting. Don't overload the page with text. Keep the first half page with the table and summary. Anything more will take longer for recruiters and hiring managers to read. Remember, you only have 7 seconds to grab their attention. Skip fancy graphics. Stick to clean, ATS-friendly formatting. As I mentioned before, never use vague language. Replace worked on projects with something like led a cross-functional team to deliver a $1.2 million software rollout, achieving a 30% reduction in deployment time. Proofreading is the final safeguard. Run a spell check and read the document aloud. Print a copy and read it to catch spacing or margin quirks. Have a trusted colleague, ideally someone with human resources experience, give it a once-over. You now have a repeatable framework that can shave hours off your job search prep and dramatically boost your interview rate. The full step-by-step guide, including the exact table template and sample wording for common job families, are laid out in Chapter 1 of my new book, The Job Hunt Insider: Essential Strategies for Resumes, Networking, Interviews, and Salary Negotiation. You will find additional information on what I've been talking about here and much more, including details about functional resumes and more common mistakes to avoid when preparing your resume. The book is available on Amazon in both paperback and ebook formats. A link is posted in the show notes. I will be sharing more information from the book in upcoming podcast episodes covering networking, interviewing, and salary negotiation. And as always, stay tuned for more episodes where I sit down with talent acquisition professionals from various industries who share behind-the-scenes information and tips useful for people on the job hunt. I appreciate you listening to this episode. If you found it useful, be sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. This will help ensure others discover this podcast. I hope it can help as many people as possible. So please, personally tell others about it as well. Remember, a resume isn't just a biography of your work life. It's a marketing flyer that shows recruiters and hiring managers why you're the exact solution they need. Until next time, keep refining, keep applying, and keep getting those opportunity doors opened. Thanks for tuning in to the Job Hunt Insider, your go-to podcast for navigating the job market with confidence. I'm Rick Boyer, and I hope today's episode gave you some valuable insights. Don't forget to check out our other episodes, packed with tips, trends, and tools to supercharge your career journey. Know someone on the job hunt for a new role? Send them our way. Together, let's turn the job search into a smoother, smarter adventure. Stay tuned for more, and remember, your dream job is one step closer every day. Catch you in the next episode.